What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit. Today we're going to be going over upgrades and how we can take what we know from the Titans, apply it to Retold so that we know when we should be getting upgrades in Retold. The upgrades are a little bit different in Retold, so I'm just going to go over what I know in the Titans, and then we're going to apply that to some Retold kind of things. So first and foremost, we've got the hand axe, and we're going to go through this in the fundamentals. If you haven't seen my fundamental series and you're a new player, I recommend watching it. It's very, very good for learning how to play Age Mythology. But in essence, we're going to be getting our economic upgrades first. We're going to be getting our infantry, our line upgrades, which is like medium infantry, medium archers, medium cavalry second, and we're going to get our armor upgrades third. When we get to that, we can go over why that's the case and how you can break that with different costings of things and all the other good stuff. But first and foremost, hand axe. This is going to give us 10% boost. We're just going to ignore everything else. It's not irrelevant, but in terms of easy calculations, whatever. So first and foremost, wood gather rate is roughly 1 a second, right? So when we get this upgrade, it costs 170. If we had 10 villagers on wood, this would be giving us, it's also a 10% boost. So with this would be the wood gather rate increases by plus 0.1%. So 10 villagers is going to be 1 a second, which means in 170 seconds, we pay the upgrade off. So roughly at 10 villagers on a resource is roughly your best bet of when you want to get this upgrade to pay itself off really quickly. For example, if you had only 5 villagers on wood, this would only be a 0.5 a second research time, which would then be 340 seconds to pay us off. This is taking a very, very long time to pay it off. You could get a lot more damage done with that 170 resources than you could gain from getting this in. Right? Sorry, it's wood gather rate plus 10%. Sorry, whatever. It's fine. You understand whatever the math is, whatever the symbols are, whatever. Okay, so that's your line upgrades. So effectively, when you're working out whether or not to get one of these upgrades, you work out how much does it cost, how much does it increase, how long does it take to pay it off? And that's how you decide when to get it. Now, the beautiful thing about Age Mythology is you only really need to decide this on the first upgrade, because the second upgrade, the third upgrade, bowsaw and carpenters, these upgrades giving 10%. If you've got 20 villagers on the resources, 30 villagers, that's how much you will have normally in a game. So you just get this as soon as you possibly can because it's going to be good. In Retold, bowsaw is actually giving you extra gather rate. I think it's 15%. So if we're at 1.1 plus 15%, now we're getting an extra, I'm not actually sure about this, so don't quote me on it, but I think it goes off the base. So instead of it being so it should be an extra 0.15. So it should go up to 1.25 a second, right? So, this is costing us 400 resources. And say we had 20 villagers on wood, getting extra, plus 0.15 a second. I can't do that math, so let me open a calculator and do that math. 20 times 0.15 equals 3 a second. So 400 divided by 3 is getting this paid off in 133.3 seconds. So in just over 2 minutes, this pays itself off. So it's really, really quick. It's really, really good. And then you're just getting a ton of resources bonus. Okay. So you can obviously tell that as you get through the game, as you advance the ages, getting these upgrades as soon as you possibly can is still going to be the best way to play. Now, let's talk about the line upgrades. We have medium infantry. This upgrade costs 300 resources, right? Total resources. It increases our hoplites or our infantry. Infantry plus 10% damage plus 10% hack attack HP plus 10% damage plus 10% HP. building an extra hoplite equals 115 HP plus 8 damage. So how many hoplites do I need? I can't actually do this math. I just know that this is like the way to work it out. So how many hoplites do I need before getting an extra hoplite is worth less than getting medium infantry? This is like a hard math. So let's just say we have 10 hoplites. This is going to increase our hoplites by 1 extra hoplite total. Because it's 10%. Everything is getting 10% more, so that's going to be 100% of a hoplite. So 10 hoplites plus medium infantry equals 1 extra hoplite. But 1 extra hoplite only equals 90 resources. So I could get for 300 resources, I could get 3 hoplites. So I need like 30 hoplites for this to actually be a worthwhile tech to grab. The problem is it's not that simple because a hoplite takes X amount of time extra to get into your army because it has to walk all the way to get to the fight, right? So if on offense, this is worth more than on defense because it's closer to the fight. Also, obviously, more population and all the other stuff, but population, I don't think is going to be that much of an issue in Retold because you have so much more population. But yes, in Titans, it matters a little bit more. So my guess is somewhere, a nice rule of thumb here for medium is going to be, I'm going to guess roughly at about 15-ish. 15 of the units, and then you want to probably think about getting your hoplites. If you use pre-Q, I'm going to say 10-ish. So I think at 15-ish you pre-Q, right? I think that's fine. Zagaroth says, also the stacking 10% more melee units might not actually path to reach their target. But yeah, we're getting into... I agree on the Titans. Pathing does play a bit more of a role, so you have to change the calculation a little bit. But on Retold, pathing is really good. So I don't think that's as clear anymore. I think that the pathing thing, you might even want to just throw away that kind of extra calculation. But anyways, at the very least, if you pre-Q at 10, you get the medium infantry. That's going to be worth 1 extra hoplite. So you're not actually behind in terms of tangible units you could have got out. While yes, you could have, if you had an extra military building, you could have produced more. This is probably the time to get your medium infantry, your medium archers, your medium cavalry is my guess. So you pre-Q it at about 10-ish. Okay. Next one, the heavy infantry. I can't remember what this is. So if somebody can let me know in chat if they know, I'm pretty sure it's going up by, okay, it might be the same because this is also 15%. Does it go up in hack damage as well to 15%? Or does it go up to 20% and this one go up to 30%? I can't remember. So it goes up to infantry damage bonus to 20% for heavy. That's actually really big. So Okay. So this is the thing now. We'll come back to we'll come back to this. So this is 600 resources. Let's come back to this and let's compare armory upgrades to line upgrade, right? So 3 armory upgrades equals 1 roughly. Now this is not 100% accurate, so don't jump down my head. It's basically the same. It's a slight bonus on armory upgrades over a line upgrade in terms of if their percents are the same. But armory upgrades, if you get all 3 of them, they equal a line upgrade. The problem is that they cost a lot of resources. So 200, 200, 150, 150, 150, 150. This is 300, 600, 1,000. So your armory upgrades are costing you 1,000 resources. The lion upgrades, if I get all 3 of them, are also costing me only 900 resources. That's medium infantry, medium archers, medium cavalry. So there's no point at which it's better to get your armory upgrades before line upgrades in the Titans. But on Retold, your armory upgrades now cost Someone tell me. Oh, there we go. Okay, copper mail is 75 wood. 75. So it's 75, 75, and weapons is 100, 100. So we've got 150, 150, and 200. So 300. So 500 total. Which means if you have 3 sets of units, you should never get line upgrades. You should always get your armory upgrades first. If you've only got 2 sets of units, now we're looking really close because this is 600 total for line, but no armory needed. So this was 500 total plus 150 wood for armory. Right? So there's a world where it's just better to go for copper first, to get your copper upgrades first, then get your line upgrades, and then get your champion up, and then get your bronze and get your iron. What do you guys reckon about that? Or is the added benefit of unlocking heavy more beneficial because you are going straight to 20%? So if you go armory first, if you're building 2 or more different units, I think so. I think that's what I'm trying to say in Retold. I think that's correct. The other problem is there's a timing difference where I can get myself medium infantry, medium archers before I could get myself copper weapons, copper mail, copper shields. These are all 30 seconds, whereas medium archers, medium infantry are 20 seconds. And this is going to take me a minute and a half to research, whereas this only takes me probably only takes me 20 seconds to research because I've already got those buildings down. All right, so that's that. So now we also have to compare. I'm pretty sure that these upgrades, it's never going to be better to get the bronze than to get the heavy, but is it better to get bronze than get champion? Okay, so we wanted to figure out what the bronze versus champion is, but I also don't think that's going to be worth it either. So champion, not only do you get champion, but you also unlock all of the good stuff with your mythic age upgrades and everything. So I'm not sure staying in the heroic age is ever going to be the right call. But champion is it plus, wait, let me see. So yeah, it's 30% damage now. And I think it's already 30%. Oh, it's 20% hit points. Is it 20% hit points or is it 30% hit points? I'm gonna guess that it's 20% hit points, but it might be 30% because it doesn't say. The unit upgrade. True. We will take a look at that. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. But let's just work this out first. So champion, is everything 900? Yes, everything is 900. So if you got, let's just do it with 1. Well, how much is this? So you got 600, 5 plus 500 plus 500. So that's 600 there. So champion to get, but that's only plus 30%. Oh, sorry, plus 10% HP / damage. That's not exactly right. I know it's not exactly right, but if I have champion infantry and archers, right now I'm at all 3. I'm at 2,700. But you've also got 1,800 to work out as well. But even so, getting like champion infantry in is already giving me 30% for 900, which is like even getting 2 above this, I'm still getting 30% plus 30%, which is huge. So I don't think, okay, I think the math says first line versus first armor equals close enough that it doesn't matter. If you want to get your close on 2 types of units. That being said, this also gives you a boost to your heroes as well. So I'm going to say probably 2 type of units, but if you have heroes, or 3 types of units out, probably armor is the better option first, right? Okay, so that I think that's fair. After that, line upgrades greater than armory upgrades. So we'll go tier 2 onwards, right? Tier 2 onwards. Line upgrades greater than armory upgrades. Finally, someone said something about the levy upgrade. So obviously at 300 food minus 20%, this upgrade, very, very rare in a normal game for this to be very good. The only exception to this is your hill fort upgrade, because hill forts are really difficult to get up. And I know that Soup enjoys it, but it's pretty average. So let's just go levy and see how much it costs. So levy costs 150. So it costs 150. Does it do anything else? Is it still just 20%? So this is just levy infantry, right? Okay. So if I have 5 barracks and I get this one, this is equal to 1 extra barracks. Is that right? No, it's 20%. So is it 4? No, it's 5. So 5 barracks, 5 military academy, 5 barracks. We'll go military academy for 1 infantry. 150 equals 5 military. 5 military academy plus 20% or minus 20% train time. Equals 1 extra military barracks. Is that right? At 150? Is that right? I think that's correct. Someone tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to work it out. I'm going off gut instinct here. So that would be meaning at 6, the 7th. So if you build 6 military barracks, you probably should get levy. Does that seem, in terms of resources? Yes, this is food. The 150 is 150 food. This is infantry. Cost is 150 food. Yeah, so if it was at 100 food, I'd get it at 5 military academies. If it was at less, I'd get it at 4. So you can kind of work out when this upgrade is going to start becoming worth it. So yes, this upgrade is going to be something you should probably research in a game now. Probably, because I think you're going to be wanting more than 5 military academies in a game. Most games. That's my guess. And there's also other things where, okay, I don't want to bring the auto queue debate into it, but let's just say auto queue on military, you're not playing with it. This also helps cover up mistakes. So if you miss a training cycle for a couple of seconds, having levy will get those units out faster. So levy is good. Is there anything else worth going over in the techs? I guess unique technologies. When do you get unique technologies? The problem with unique technologies in the Titans is that they only affect 1 unit. They're really expensive, and they don't do a whole lot. So generally speaking, in the Titans, you wait till you've got all of your upgrades first, and then you tech into them. But in Retold, there's a lot more stuff going on to answer to. So for example, there seems like all of the unit techs are cheaper. It seems like they do more. And one that I want to take a look at, for example, and guesstimate if it's good or not, over just getting a normal upgrade, is let's take a look at this tech. This tech was an interesting one for me. Where is it? Spear of something. Serpent Spear, I think. Yeah, Serpent Spear. So it costs, let's go to this. So Serpent Spear costs 125 food, 12 favor. Now it deals its damage over time. Does it tell me what it actually does? No. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to go over that one. I can't remember what it does. Is there a different way? Oh, there it goes. Instead, it inflicts poison on enemy units, causing 0.13 divine damage per second. This is such a hard tech to kind of gauge as to how good it actually is. So 0.3, let's just say one attack does 0.3 times 6. I'm going to imagine that it can't apply a second stack, but that's a big assumption. So maybe it can, but at least from the same unit. So, I mean, we'll see. 0.13 times 6 is equal to a total of 0.78 more actual damage, flat damage, divine damage. This is divine. Doesn't ignores armor, right? Ignores armor. So this is what Serpent Spear does versus, and now it costs, wait, 125, 12 food. Like, if we compare this to copper weapons or medium spears, 12 favor, I'm just going to, while favor is technically somewhat free for Egyptian, I'm still going to count it as 10 resources because there's a finite amount of it, and you can definitely do really good things with favor. So we're just going to say it's 125, 120, so 245, right? Roughly, in terms of total resources. So this is 200 and increases plus by 10%. So a spearman, I'm not sure it's 8 damage a spearman does. Wait, where's a spearman? Spearman. You're doing 7. Okay, so I get 0.7, right? 0.7 DPS more, which is slightly behind the total damage that this tech gives. But every time I attack, I'm getting that extra damage in. So over the 6 seconds this takes to apply, I've dealt this times 6. So both copper weapons and medium spears are better than this divine damage, but the divine damage doesn't but we have to account for armor. So what's an average amount of armor? So I'd say an average amount of armor is around 40 to 50%, right? Though you're probably going to be using spearmen against cavalry, which have got 15%, which have got 10%, right? Yeah, so it's really not that much. Yeah, 10%. Yeah, okay. So we can kind of ignore this, but let's just say, yeah, I think copper, weapons, medium spears, and then you want to get your serpent spear upgrade is my guess. Okay. I'm not sure what else to go over. Like, I guess the conscripts, because conscript is also another upgrade, which probably was changed. I didn't look at it. So conscript for archers. So it goes to 200 wood. And hang on, is it still? It's probably still 20%. So if it's at 200, then we need to have 10, right? You need 10 buildings before conscript archers. But that's definitely going to be something worth, or conscript cavalry or conscript infantry. It's probably still going to be worth grabbing. Probably a little bit earlier than 10, because you've also got to account for the extra resources to build the building, because it takes like 20 seconds to build a building. So villager gathering for 20 seconds is 20 resources roughly, plus or minus depending on the resource and the upgrades. So I reckon, yeah, you're probably also going to be getting conscript infantry as well, or conscript cavalry or archers. All right. That's it. If there's a technology you think I've missed, let me know, and I will try and give you some details in the comment section below. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.